Folks, getting out is becoming a nightmare. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending May 29th, 2024. Folks, I've been analyzing home prices for this video, condo prices for years. So I have the data going back for a long time. And I recently took a really close look at what we would consider an investor type condo. So let's talk about that for a second. When I think of an investor that's buying a condo, could be somebody buying multiple, a more seasoned investor, or many cases, the mom and pop type of investor. They have their home and they're gonna buy a condo as an investment because that's what everybody's doing. They're not spending at the top end of the condo market. They're looking to buy at the bottom. So they're buying 0 to 1 bedroom type condo. Very few updates, right? Why should they splurge on updates when they're just renting it out to somebody? That's their mentality. So they're buying at the bottom end of the condo market. And there are thousands and thousands of investors that have done that for years. Well, I've analyzed the numbers. And when we look at the same period, 2022 versus today, so we're just going back 2 years, from 2022 to today's average prices for the investor type condo, so the 0 to 1 bedrooms, that average price is down about $100,000 in 2 years. Now, if this was a $1.5 million, $2 million home, $100,000, not such a big deal. It's okay, prices are down. But when you're talking about something that sells for $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, and prices are down $100,000, that's a big chunk of the total value of that condo. This is the condo market today, folks. And think about this for a second. So you bought pre-construction. It closed now, and you're trying to sell it. For many people trying to sell their pre-construction condo right now, whether it's on assignment or they closed and trying to sell it, those investor type condos, do you realize the best they could hope for is to cover their mortgage or what their mortgage will be? So whatever down payment they've put in is totally wiped out. If you're buying a $600,000 condo, you've closed on it, chances are you've put 20% in. If you're going according to the builder payment plans, you've put 20% down, that's $120,000. It's taken you years to save the $120,000. That's what you put in, and now it's worth $120,000 less? And you're praying that somebody buys it, and you seem to be, I don't know if I should say you're okay with losing the $120,000, but that's the best you could hope for. That's a really hard decision to make, and yet hundreds of condos, thousands of condo investors are making those decisions every single day, selling where their deposit is totally gone. They're starting from zero, but they're not on the hook for getting a mortgage for the rest of the condo, or they pay it off. Now, some of these people think, no problem. Maybe I'll just hold out and rent it out and wait it out for the market to come back. That's not an option for a lot of people because it's not cash flow negative by a little bit. You're renting it out, it's cash flow negative by a lot. So you can't afford to, in a sense, maintain almost 2 mortgages. And plus, with everything in the news about tenants and the pitfalls of that, a lot of people are not prepared to rent out their unit. Well, what if you bought resale? If you bought resale in the last couple of years, you're in the same boat. If you're selling now, the value is $100,000 less than what you bought it for 2 and 3 years ago. You know what a tough decision that is? To sell, and whatever down payment you put in when you bought the condo is wiped out. And the best you could hope for is, please, as long as it covers my mortgage and I can just get out of this. That's the condo market today. I don't have a ton of great news for you here. I don't have a happy ending right now for you. But the investors that bought a few years ago, these are decisions they have to make. How much are they prepared to lose to get out of their condo? If you feel this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Here we go, folks. Let's take a close look at what's happening with condos. We're going to be discussing condos across Peel region, across York region, and the city of Toronto. Here's a quick summary of average sold prices. Peel, York region, Toronto, for week ending May 29th. We're going to start off with the big city, Toronto. 229 condos were sold. Look, versus the previous week, sales are way up. Versus the previous week, average prices are up. But the previous week was a long weekend. Funny things happen over the course of a long weekend. So 229 were sold for week ending May 29th. 33 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price up from the previous week to $772,000. I think if you look closely, you'll see that sales and price, if you get rid of the long weekend, both sales and price are in line to where they were before the long weekend. Compared to last year, 772 is 6% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 8% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. I've got 3 months on the board here broken down by week. And if you kind of look back a bit, both average and median were trending up. And then somewhere the end of April, they're either flat or more, they're trending down, but just slightly. So prices since the end of April, so what are we looking at? Maybe about 5 weeks or so. Prices have been, for condos in the city of Toronto, trending down. Not aggressively, but they're trending down. 229 were sold. What's also trending down is the percentage selling at list price or more. That's 28% now. Listings seem to be trending down, but active listings is increasing. And I'm going to click back. If 229 were sold, and there's a total of almost 5,100 available for sale, what we're saying is 4.5% of the condos available for sale sold this week. Only 4.5%. Not a lot of condo sales in all selling. Months of inventory sitting at 5.1. Again, in line to where we were prior to the long weekend. But that's the whole city of Toronto. Let's look a little bit closer here. So for the city, 5.1 months of inventory. Let's look at some of the different regions. We've got Toronto broken down into 9 sections here. Scarborough, 29 condos were sold. Months of inventory, better than the overall average at 3.8. East York, 3.8 months of inventory. Etobicoke, 28 condos were sold, 4.4 months of inventory. High Park, Parkdale, 25 condos were sold, 3.7 months of inventory. If you look at some of these average prices, Etobicoke, 673. All of Toronto, 772, but Etobicoke is 673. There's about $100,000 there below the average price. Scarborough, 539 is the average price of those 29 condos that sold. Let's look at There's the downtown core, midtown, uptown. Average price is $717. In the middle, 1,084. Sorry, 1,000. That's 1,084,000 is the average sold price. And right downtown, 825 is the average sold price. Months of inventory, 8.7 in the downtown core. And that's where the majority, as far as one spot goes. 52 condos were sold for week ending May 29th. 1,967 condos are available for sale. 1,967. It's getting close to 2,000 available for sale. 52 were sold. 2.6% of condos available in downtown sold. We said for the whole city, 4.5% of available condos sold. In the downtown core, it's much lower. 2.6% of the condos sold. Here's York Region condos. 43 condos were sold. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price down from the previous week to $697,000. Now I'm labeling the long weekend here. So sales did drop. Average sold price in many areas dropped, but not in York Region. Average price went the other way. This week we're at $697,000. $697,000 is 6% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 8% lower. And if we look at kind of the end of April, so all of May, average prices have been trending down. 43 were sold, 28% sold at list price or more. Active listings, it was increasing, but over the last 2 weeks, it's actually been coming down. The first week, not by a lot, came down by 4, but it's come down a bit more since then. It's sitting at 728 now, active listings in York Region. Months of inventory sitting at 3.9 months of inventory. Pretty much a balanced market when it comes to condos across York Region. Peel Region condos. Now, the majority of these are being bought and sold in Mississauga, but this is for all of Peel Region. 30 condos were sold. Average price way down to $575,000. If you look back this whole year, there's not many weeks where we were at 575 or lower. In fact, I see 2 of them, and one of them is second week in January. So my attitude is just to write that off. There's really only one other week when we look at January onward. Compared to last year, 575, 6% lower year over year. The median price is also 6% lower. If you look at the dotted line, I'm thinking prices are trending down. They may be, but it looks kind of flat. So it's either flat or trending down slightly. It's really hard to tell. 30 were sold, 27% sold at list price or more. Listings, a little bit higher than the previous week by 2. Listings do look like they're starting to come down. Active listings, although it's down from the previous week, overall, active listings have been trending up. Months of inventory sitting at 5.3 months of inventory. That's been trending up. 5.3 would put us in a buyer's market type of situation. Here's a quick summary. Between 3 months and 5 months, we say is a balanced market. Above 5 months is a buyer's market. We got City of Toronto and Peel Region in a buyer's market. In a balanced market is York Region. I should say, though, that's a summary of these whole areas. When it comes to condos, many times in that one building you're looking in, that's the universe for that condo. So depending on what's happening in that building, we are seeing sellers markets in some situations, some really special condos that are really hard to come by that buyers just want to flock to. We're seeing a lot of the balanced market, and we're seeing buyer's market, extreme buyer's market in other situations. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.